Hey everyone, I'm on my way to my honey hole, and so I thought I would do a car chat today and tell you about my experience yesterday at the flea market sourcing appliances. Let's launch this reseller, Rowboat. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful week. Today has been one of those days where I wish I could just crawl back into bed and put the covers over my head. I have a massive sinus headache this morning, and I've got to go to the honey hole today and get at least 100 pieces. I'm completely out of clothing inventory. So you have to do what you got to do, right? It's awful. I am off of work tomorrow, so hopefully I can make up some time. I have 0 drafts ready to go tomorrow. I didn't launch my 30 today for the first time in months, so I launched 23, but I don't think that'll hurt me very much. So let's go ahead and talk about the flea market yesterday. I haven't been to a flea market in about 2 years. The last time I went was with Chris the Goose and Kimmy, and it took us about 3 to 3.5 hours to go through the flea market because they're everything sellers, and so they would stop at pretty much every table when I was just looking for clothing. And so it was really hard on me, I guess is what I'm saying. I was hurting a lot. My hip was hurting. I was leaning on tables. I just wanted to sit down. But yesterday, I managed to get through the entire flea market in an hour and a half by myself because I didn't even look at clothes. Like, I even saw signs that said $1 for clothing, and I did not stop. I was on a mission. I was hoping to get 10 machines. I really kind of overshot that number. But I thought to myself, hey, Beth, if you could go to one place once a month and get 10 machines, then you wouldn't have to be driving all over Houston looking for good deals and looking for decent brands, and then you could just kind of go back to, just clothing all week long, have time to list, right? Well, in this particular flea market is about an hour and 15 minutes away, but the good thing about it is my parents live up that direction. And so what I was able to do was, when I got through the flea market, I was able to meet them at a restaurant for lunch and then go back to their house for a couple of hours. So I shot 2 birds with 1 stone, and I was able to write off the trip. So it was awesome. What took the longest for me was taking things to my car. I had my shopping cart. It's still in the back seat. I have got mud all over my back seat. It's dried mud. I should be able to get it out. But it was very, very muddy there. The pavilions are concrete floors, but when you go from pavilion to pavilion, you have to go through mud, basically. I tried to pick my cart up as much as possible, but there was no way I could pick it up the whole time. So, yeah, I got mud, and it's all over my cart wheels, and I need my cart. I use my cart to get my inventory to my inventory room, and I don't want it sitting back there with mud. So that's one of my jobs this week, is to clean off the wheels, clean out the car. So let's talk about what I found. Okay, I spent $100 and I bought 4 machines. So that averages out $25 per machine, which is super high for me, right? But I think I got some really good machines. 3 of them are in the box and, in the packaging. So right there, that tells me I can get probably more for each piece because I can list it as new, never used. And I'm used to getting appliances that are used, right? The first machine that I found was a Ninja machine, and it was beautiful, and it was sitting on a table, and the guy said his wife wanted $40 for it, and I've parted this same machine out many times, and I was like, no. He goes, well, I'll give you 30, you can have it for 30, and I was like, I don't think so, because I have the tank. I probably have 2 of the tanks from that machine. Surprisingly, usually the tanks sell first, but for this particular Ninja, the tanks don't sell. So I will have to put quantity 3 in my SKU, and I'll probably take my price down on this tank for this machine. So I told him no. I said that's just too high, for me. I don't know. I know you say it's working, but I don't know that it's working for sure. And he goes, how about 25? And I was like, okay, I can do 25. So it was a beautiful machine, and so I put it in the bottom of my cart, and I was thinking, I don't want to put another appliance on top of this because I don't want the chance of the water tank or the carafe breaking. So here I hiked myself to my car. Well, I couldn't find my car. I thought I knew where my car was, but I guess I got turned around. And so I spent quite a bit of time searching for my car the first time I went back. And that took time out of my sourcing. And I'm going to have to figure out a different way. I know they have those apps on your phone where you can find your car. I may have to reinstall that app on my phone. So then the next one was it's a handheld vacuum cleaner, and I can't remember the name of the brand. It's a brand I've never heard of before, but I'll try to put it up on the screen. I didn't know what it was. They had it sitting up on top of a box, and I could see it from far away, and I could see there were pieces inside this clear, looked like a canister of some sort. I thought it was some kind of a chopper. And so that's your first clue, guys. When you see something and you see pieces that are individual, that, should trigger something in your brain. Hey, there's something I might be able to part out. And I'm so glad I went over there, because I said, what is this thing? And she said, it's a handheld battery powered vacuum cleaner. And she said, it's new, it's like new. And it's got the box and the instructions. And I said, well, can you get the box out? Because, the box, I couldn't reach it. Well, when she opened this thing up, everything was still in plastic. And there were I would say, almost 15 different attachments to it. There was a battery. She put the battery in the unit and showed me that the battery was charged up 21%. But the thing didn't look like it had been used. So maybe the battery was never charged full, or it's just kind of gone down from sitting in the box. So I looked it up on eBay, and it had great comps. One of these machines I comped had more solds than listed, and I think it might have been this one. And I was like, well, how much do you want for it? And she's like, $40. And I was like, $40? I don't spend $40 on any machine, guys. You know me. I'm so cheap. So I said, you won't come down at all? And she said, well, because it's working, because I've showed you that the battery is charged, and it's got all the instructions and all the packing material, she said, I really can't go less than $40. And I said, okay, I'll take it. So I bought it. And so even if I, sell 2 pieces from that machine, I'll already have made my money back. So I'm really happy about that. The only piece I'm a little bit concerned about is there was this long thing. I don't know what it is. It might get some kind of extension. And I'm not sure how long it is, so I may not be able to send that because it may be too long to send USPS. They got that link thing, for golf clubs and stuff, where you have to pay this astronomical amount of money. So I gotta remember, if you guys remember the number of inches that is, where you have to pay so much more, let me know in the chat, please. That may be the only piece I may have to chunk. And so then I bought that, and then the last transaction was a bean grinder by Mueller. I looked it up. It had great comps. It looks like it only has about 3 pieces to it, but again, she wanted $25 for it, and I didn't want to spend $25 on it. And so there was a Black & Decker, just a pretty much regular coffee maker, that I would normally pay $8 to $10 for, but it was new in the box, and she took it out. She had to, we made sure everything was in there. It was packaged nicely, the instruction manual. And I said, if I buy that one for $15, could I have this bean grinder for $20, and she said yes. So altogether I spent what did I say, $100. So when I got back to my trunk, I really thought I had 5 machines, but I wrote them down on my phone how much I spent for each one. And when I got back to my trunk, I was like, because I needed to go, I was like, I'm a little disappointed because I really was shooting for 10 machines. But the thing about flea markets and anywhere actually is you never know what you're going to get. And I could go back next week and they could have 10 appliances for sale. You just never know. I could have missed some. I tried really hard to scan all the tables and the ground for appliances. If I saw anything that was kitchen related, like pots and pans, I went over there because I thought if they've got pots and pans, they might have, kitchen appliances. And so this one guy, he was trying to sell me this. It was a 3-in-1 breakfast maker. TK125, I think, was the model number, but there was no brand, and it was it was dirty. I mean, there was no dents or anything, but it was just filthy. It had like a warming plate on top with a lid, and then it had a little toaster oven with a tray, and then on the side it had a little place to make a cup of coffee, so it had a filter. So it probably had about 3 pieces: filter, lid, and tray. And he says, you can have it for $5. And I was like, okay. So I looked it up, and sure enough, there were 2 of them listed on eBay, brand new, for like in the $130 range. But when I went to the brand on both of those listings, it said, what do you call it? I can't think of the word. You know what I mean? Unbranded, right? Non-applicable. And I went to solds, there were no solds. And I was like, okay, this isn't good. I don't want something unbranded. I mean, truthfully, I found it with the model number, but it's just strange that it had no brand. So then as I'm walking away, he goes, well, do you want it for $3? And I'm like, no. Now, 3 years ago, I might have taken him up on that and bought that for $3, but I don't have the space anymore for appliance parts. And I was making better buys. There were several machines that I passed up. I saw several Mr. Coffees, Proctor Silexes that I would have bought years ago. They were asking $10 for. I would have bought them in a thrift store years ago, but I'm just not really excited about those brands. I think there was a Sunbeam. If it doesn't have a mesh filter in it, guys, if it's a coffee maker and it just has a carafe and a black filter or white filter basket, but no mesh filter, I wouldn't suggest paying more than $5. That's just me, because I want to get at least 3 pieces out of a machine if I'm going to spend $10 on it, because one item will sell for $10 or more, and then the other 2 pieces is your profit. So keep that in mind when you're looking at coffee makers. I don't know. Our machine, I don't know if I want to say anything else about that. Maybe I'll think of something else. But our microwave, this is the second microwave we've had in our house in 2 years. And we may need to look at the outlet. I don't know. But I was cooking something in the microwave the other day, and it was supposed to be on for like 4 minutes, and I was in the pantry and I heard it go off in 1 minute, and it beeped, but it was a weird beep, and I'm like, why did it go off in 1 minute? And I went over there and I opened the door, and smoke was just pouring out of the microwave, and I was like, oh my gosh. So we had to order a new microwave, and so what I did was I parted out the old microwave. I parted out the plate, the glass plate, and the spinner ring, and I will sell those separately. I expect to get about $50 maybe total for both of those, maybe a little bit more, and then that kind of recoups some of our money, right? And then I think we spent about $100 on a new microwave, like not a whole lot. So I think about parting out your microwaves, because those plates and spinner rings do sell. The plate usually sells first. I store them by wrapping them in big bubble wrap, and I put a label on it to tell which microwave plate it is. In fact, when I'm at the bins, well, a lot of people are doing this now and they beat me to it, but when I go to the bins, I look for microwaves and I part out the plate in the spinner ring. But usually now, by the time I get to them, somebody's taken them. But they do sell. Just put them in a Rubbermaid tub and let them sit, and they will sell eventually. And it doesn't take super long. Like, it doesn't take 2 years to sell one. I guess that's what I'm saying. People are dropping those things all the time. Or they're breaking the little wheels on the spinner ring. And, yeah, they'll sell well. So I think I've sold now, since January 1st, 22 or 23 appliance parts. So I'm very happy with what's going, because I still have less than 200 parts listed in my store. I have made some listing mistakes. I have a issue with when I'm drafting an item, I forget to put the pictures in. I don't know why. and so then it never goes live, basically, and I delete the draft, but it's in my inventory. And I will figure that out later on when I do inventory of my parts. Beth, you didn't list this. I don't know. This week has just been crazy, and I want to do a haul video live stream this week and have those items on sale for you guys. I wish I could have done one last week. I got some amazing pieces last week. I got a 7X Moo by Anthony Richards. I got some beautiful sweaters. I can't even think of all the things I got. I got a lot of bread and butter, but yeah, I got some amazing pieces. I sold a bathing suit on Saturday or Sunday. So I'm thinking, and I've sent some offers out on bathing suits. So I'm thinking swimsuit season is starting to pick up for me, because I notice people are watching items. And so hopefully my swimsuits will start selling. And I don't know what else to say except for I have this major headache right now. I'm trying to smile. And guys, whenever you have days like this, I mean, it seems like everything I've touched today has gone wrong. And I actually told my wife out loud, what else can go wrong today? Can it get any worse? And she goes, you shouldn't have said that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I have a podcast interview with a guy from Australia, and then my dog has another vet appointment. And that was one thing. I would really ask for prayer for our family right now, because our male dog is not doing well. And we are talking, having some serious discussions about him right now. And we've been to the vet. This will be 4 times in 2 weeks that we've been to the vet with him. So our doctor is amazing and is really working with us on the medications and to extend his life. But we want him to be comfortable. We want him to be happy. And right now he's happy. Like, he seems happy. He's wagging his tail all the time and, wanting to go on his walks and, but he just doesn't know how sick he is. I guess that's basically it. It's so hard when you have animals. Okay, well, I won't blubber on. I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be, but I just want to tell you guys, I'm so appreciative of my subscribers. If you're new here, I really would appreciate, you subscribing. I love all of my subscribers, and consider giving this a thumbs up, comment below, and share this channel with a friend. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget, we're all in this business boat together, so keep paddling. Bye.